Am I the a-hole for suing my ex's children? I, 50 male, got the biggest heartbreak of my life when I found out that my high school sweetheart turned wife cheated on me and that her children Jack, 21 male, and Jill, 21 female, weren't mine. They were 2 years old at the time, but I couldn't handle it, so I left. Because they were born within the marriage, I was legally the father, and resented paying child support because it was basically the government rewarding my ex for her lies. I wanted no contact with the children, but didn't begrudge my mom for still wanting a relationship. But I did stop talking to her for 6 months after she tried to trick me into reconciliation. I only let my mom back in my life after she swore to never betray me again, and with perfect understanding that she would be dead to me if she ever tried again. Later on, I moved on and found a woman who was willing to accept me in spite of my baggage, and we had a wonderful marriage. I was heartbroken the day she died, but pressed on because I knew I had to be there for my children Miranda, 18 female, and Joe, 16 male. I started a business and did fairly well for myself. I never talked about my ex-wife or her kids, so I developed this reputation of being a doting father and successful man. I never bragged about it, but rather it was something that was pushed onto me that I tried to downplay. After my ex's kids turned 18, I double-checked with my lawyers and they said that I was in the clear, didn't have to pay for any support. Jack and Jill reached out to me, wanting contact and requesting financial assistance as they had plans for college. I calmly told them no, and to never contact me again. It even had my lawyer send out a letter explaining that I was free of any more obligation to them. Jack and Jill were both upset and confronted me each on their own way. Jack went to my place of business, yelled about how I was a horrible father who abandoned his children, while Jill went on social media to badmouth me and my business and got many of her friends to write horrible reviews. Their actions hurt my reputation and cost me a lucrative contract, so I decided to file a lawsuit. Turns out, their mom let them believe that I was their dad, and my own mother never thought about setting the record straight. We did another DNA test. First one was done during the divorce, verifying that I'm not their dad, and I now have a case against them. I've yet to receive an apology from Jack or Jill, but their mom is begging me not to continue with the lawsuit. I said I'd only do it if she paid me a specific amount, and when she said she couldn't afford it, I countered that she could if she sold her house. She said that she and her family would have no home, but I don't see how that's my problem, since this was her mess to begin with. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your ex-wife and mother's lies ruined your business and costed you money. I feel sorry for Jack and Jill, but I question their character, since their response to being told no was to try to destroy your life. Agree. I hope he paid child support for children who weren't his own for 18 years. I think that the ex is an awful person for doing that to him, along with lying to her own children and inspiring this whole mess. This is the wildest part in my eyes. DNA tests prove they are not your children, and you were still legally obligated to support them for 18 years? If any lawyers see this, can you please confirm that this can actually happen? Not the a-hole. You paid a child support all the years because you had to, and they thank you by ruining everything you've built up. Sue the hell out of the children, and teach them they don't get to expect money from someone just because they believe it's their dad. I second this. They could have asked why. Instead, they went nuclear on you. I don't see why he should not go nuclear back. Not the a-hole. Although this is a horrible situation all around. In the end, I'll say though that the real a-hole is their mother, who should have at some point told them the truth about you. Although I don't think forcing her to sell her house is in anyone's best interest. This is where you become a bit of an a-hole. Something like that is only going to cause you further grief, and it seems like the best thing for you is to just not have these people in your life anymore. You're 100% wrong. She literally cheated on him and as a result had kids that wasn't his. Then she took child support payments from him for 18 years for kids that weren't even his. She could have declined the payments like any person with an ounce of a good heart. He shouldn't have ever had to pay. Not a single penny. To top it all off, she made the kids believe that he was the real dad. I honestly believe he deserves every single penny he spent in child support back, and then some for emotional damages to his well-being. They destroyed his business and reputation as a result of their mother's poor actions. He's not an a-hole for anything. I say sue the mother and the kids. I hope this man gets the world because this is such a disturbing situation to be in. This is why I wish more women would face criminal charges for false paternity. It's one thing if a man openly accepts a child as his, even if he knows it's not. But to make a man pay for a child he proved to be fathered by someone else? regardless of marital status, is just evil. It causes imbalances in family planning and paternal destiny. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying I don't care about my sister finally having a kid? 10 years ago, I, 32 female, was dating Sean, 33 male, when my sister Anna, 34 female, encouraged me to break up with him because we weren't good together. At the time, I was hesitant. But then he cheated on me with this woman he worked with and I was done. And Anna was the most vocal cheerleader of the whole thing. But then 3 months later, I found out they were dating. I won't lie, I felt betrayed. Not because I particularly care about friends/family dating exes, but more to do with the fact she was so vocal about us not being good together before we knew he cheated. It felt like she wanted him for herself when I looked back. But on top of that, she starts dating the guy who cheated on me. They never meant for me to find out when I did, but once I found out, they were openly together. The girl he cheated with was almost more pissed than me at first, because she thought they were going to be together. It was a mess. But I declared myself done with my sister that day. I did go to their wedding and I did invite her to mine. I had 2 boys she never met, and I knew from family she was struggling to conceive, but I never reached out to support her. 2 months ago, my parents told me she was pregnant and wanted to invite me to her baby shower. But they wanted to talk to me first, so they could explain why it was so important that I put the past to rest and move on. They said our kids deserve to know each other, and this pregnancy has been rough, so her daughter is a true miracle baby and I would be a great aunt if I'm willing. I told them I'm not, and that they need to stop trying to make me move forward in a relationship with her. They told me she's having a baby, and this could be great for me. I told them I don't care if she's having a kid or not, that I want no part of their lives. My parents just told me I am dead wrong for that, because their kid is innocent. It is family blood, it deserves to have her family want her. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Family is blood? Then why didn't they handle her when she did what she did? They're just guilt-tripping you. Exactly. Not the a-hole. OP, next time they come at you with that BS, tell them that they chose her over you. And if they harass you anymore, you'll be happy to cut them out of your children's lives. And seriously, consider doing this anyway, because family that backs up a woman who steals her sister's man is toxic. And you don't want that around your kids. Part of me suspects the sister and the ex had an emotional affair, at the very least, before he cheated with someone else as well. Or that they planned it so that they would have an excuse of, but we weren't together when you 2 were. Not today, home. Reproducing should not be used as a get-out-of-jail card. Am I right to assume that the child is also a product of the guy who cheated on you? Or did she move on to some other guy? She's still with my ex. That just makes it worse, because both of the people who betrayed you are trying to get you to celebrate their betrayal, because often babies are seen as somehow legitimizing what they did to you. No, thanks. That definitely solidifies not day home. Not day home. Innocent kids are everywhere. There isn't anything special about your sisters. Plus, you can't have a relationship with the kids without a healthy relationship with the parents, and that just doesn't sound like it is feasible. Given that you don't seem to be missing anything about not knowing their kids, I'd say keep on doing things your way. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my mom's engagement ring to my stepbrother because he's not family? My mom died when I, 27 male, was 9, and my dad got married some time after. His wife had 3 other kids, so it was definitely a major adjustment. Me and her son, Ben, 28 male, shared my tiny cramped room all our teen years, and it was rough. We didn't get along at all, and it was a relief moving out when I started uni and never looked back. The only person I stayed in contact with was my dad and my older brother, 35 male. But our relationship with our dad is a bit strained for many other reasons, aside from how he handled everything back then. I've only seen them a handful of times over the years. Last time was at my dad's for his birthday over a month ago, where I was told Ben has a girlfriend that he's been with for 5 years, and that he wants to propose. Then my dad says it would be a beautiful gift if I gave him my mom's engagement that she specifically left to us. It was my grandma's ring, which was given to my dad when he wanted to propose to her. That's a thing my family's done, and so that's why he thinks it would be a nice thing to continue on since now he's ready to get married. I told them both no, not just because Ben isn't one of my mom's kids, but I want to keep the engagement ring to propose to a future girlfriend. My brother doesn't believe in getting married, so that's why the ring was passed to me. It was always meant to be used by one of us. I gave these reasons along with the fact it's part of a family tradition on my mom's side. Ben got pretty mad, and so did my dad, because he says Ben is my brother, therefore part of the family and the tradition. I said no, he's not. He is someone I had to be roommates with Tex as teenager, but we're not family. The story would be different if it was my brother who wanted to use it because we're actually family. My brother agreed with that too. My dad hasn't left me alone about it. Ben has only bothered me a few times about it, and so has my dad's wife. Basically, they think I'm being an a-hole. Since this would be a meaningful gift as a way for me to finally consider him my family, it is a nice tradition for the new generation. It is not like Ben is short on money to buy his own engagement ring. Seems to be that they really want to push this, because it's part of the tradition on my mom's side, which I don't get why he needs to be part of, much less take my mom's engagement ring. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. At all. Why do these people think they have a right to your property? Is he going to give it back if you wanted to get engaged someday? Let them start their own traditions. Maybe stepmother can give Ben her ring. Ben never had any relationship to Opie's mom. He didn't even know her. I find it so gross to take away the ring from somebody else's dead mother. At the engagement, the dialogue will be like, Ben, this ring is really special. It belonged to the dead mother. Fiancé, but your mother still lives. Ben, I never said it was my dead mother. Where's the sentimental value? I guess Ben just don't want to spend money on a new ring. This. As the woman receiving the ring, I would feel guilty, knowing I took it away from someone for whom it would have real emotional value. It's creepy to receive the ring of a dead woman who never wanted me to have it, but who intended it for the wife of her son. Creepy, cheap, entitled. Not the a-hole. Put that ring under lock and key. I don't trust them. Clear, not the a-hole. You said it yourself. The ring was meant for either you or your brother to use. Your mom's intentions were clear. Even if you didn't plan on getting married, it's a keepsake that was gifted to you by your mom, a woman your stepbrother never knew as a parent. It's cruel of your dad to be pushing this when he knows you were planning on using it. They don't have the right to demand to be included in family tradition when it means taking something so meaningful away from you. It's your ring to propose with. Not the a-hole. This has nothing to do with your stepbrother or, frankly, your father. The ring was left to you and your brother by your mother, who I assume never even met your stepbrother. So, apart from anything else, if you gave it away, you wouldn't be following her last wishes. It's very weird how the rest of your family seem to think they can co-opt another family's traditions and possessions simply because your stepmother married your father, who wasn't even part of the family with the tradition until he married into it. Very strange. And honestly, I'd want nothing to do with any of them. Personally, I would sit your father down, or write him a letter, and reiterate everything you've said previously, but stress that you will not be changing your mind on this. And if he continues to push this, then he will damage your relationship further. If he continues to harass you, then it might be the time for a period of no contact. It's mostly my dad and Ben, my dad's wife a couple times. But yeah, I don't get it either. It's a beautiful ring, that's for sure, but I can't see why he can't buy one of his own. They seem to care that it's a family heirloom and he's family. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out of my house and exposing her to the whole family? My 26 female, sister 35 female, lost her home due to her husband's gambling. They practically lost everything and were forced to eviction. Our parents had always preferred my sister way more, as she's a perfect child. Perfect husband, perfect house, perfect career. She's a doctor, and thus she came to me for help. She cried and begged to please let her stay here with me, and not to tell anything to our parents until she was divorced. I did, because I know how mean they can be. My boyfriend and I own a 2-bedroom apartment. The guest room that's rather small, and our room that's a lot bigger and has an ensuite bathroom with a bathtub. This is important. My boyfriend is currently staying with his parents in Texas, so I have the whole house to myself. We talked about it and we agreed to let my sister use the guest room and pay minimum rent for a few months. Everything was fine at first, until a few weeks ago when we had some problems with the bathroom my sister uses and she had to use mine. When she found out I had a bathtub, she was thrilled and said why I didn't say anything before. And I just told her because it was my personal bathroom and I didn't have to. The problem got fixed in 2 days, but every once in a while she asked me to use my bathtub. I said yes a few times, until she just stopped asking and began to go into my bath every time she wanted. She then tried to leave her products there until one day I found her sleeping in my bed. I woke her up and told her to get out, but she said that it wasn't fair that I had a better room with a better bath and everything, that she was a doctor deserved the room way more, and that the best thing was to move to the small room and let her have it. I was mad. I couldn't believe that she was in my house trying to rule over me. I told her that this wasn't just my house, but my boyfriend's too, and that she had to get her things and leave. She said I was overreacting, and I told her that, yes, sure, but I know how these things usually are, and I don't plan to have it her way. She said that she didn't have anywhere else to go, and I told her, too bad. She had to come clean to my parents and is currently staying there, and now they are mad at me for kicking her out and forcing her to embarrass herself in front of them, and that I owe her my house for free as long as she wants. Not today, Ho. You welcomed your sibling into your home and just wanted basic decency, and she trampled all over your boundaries. She deserves what she gets, to be honest. Of course they are mad at you. You're the scapegoat, and she's the golden child. This will never change no matter what you do. So stop trying with any of them, and start distancing yourself. They are toxic, and you need to live a happy, healthy life. A 35-year-old doctor can afford to stay on her own. What an entitled person. Perhaps not. Her ex probably damaged her credit beyond belief. Doesn't excuse one single ounce of her behavior towards Opie, though. Not today, Ho, and laughing out loud at your sister. Did she really say I deserved a better room because I'm a doctor and you're not? Or words to that effect? That's one for the Guinness World Records of entitlement.